Hello, I'm doing a book review on a book I recently read. Um, as I'm a business owner running my own law practice in the state of Florida, lately I've really been in a mood where I've been reading a lot of books and a bunch of inspirational material to help, long-term strategy, broad thinking, things like that. And the book that I read most recently was Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg. Now, this was a very interesting book. I'm really glad I read it. Not too difficult of a read. And there's several concepts that I wanted to explore here. So again, the book is Lean In. Now, the concepts are it's a jungle gym, not a ladder. Sit at the table. Make your partner a real partner. Done is better than perfect. And lean in, don't leave before you leave. Now, this book got a lot of buzz a couple years ago when it was released, and also around 2010, Sheryl Sandberg, who's the COO at Facebook, um, she gave a TED Talk, and I'll link below to the TED Talk. It's about a 15-minute talk and very good, and it covers a lot of the materials that are in the book. So the TED Talk generated a lot of buzz. She wrote a book several years later, and there's a lot of the response has been directed towards it being, a book for professional women to take inspiration from in order to, achieve success and break the gender gap. But I really think it, just as a business owner, and it's just generally a good book for all sorts of entrepreneurs, and not just because of the gender content, but really the sad thing about the state of our society today is that a book about how to succeed in business written by women, written by a woman, all of a sudden is wrapped as, a book targeted for women or a feminist book or things like that. And really, it's just another book. But it does address some of the issues going on with the gender pay gap, and it does provide inspiration. But also, I think it's very good for men to read, and I took a lot of inspiration from it. So going on to this first concept, the one I really liked is it's a jungle gym, not a ladder. So, there's a lot of, the imagery of a corporate ladder is a concept that, young professionals get on the corporate ladder and they work their way to the top and that kind of thing. Uh, but Ms. Sandberg's argument is that it's a jungle gym where sometimes it's not just something you step on and work your way up, and if you run into an obstacle you get off it or go down, and you can either go up or down. But rather she presents the image of a jungle gym where you can go sideways, up, down, left, right, all the way around, and your goal is just to make it upward to the top, but it's not always one rung at a time. Going up is not always the most direct path. And I think that this is a concept that really resonates with me. In particular, my career path has not been, a straight line, but lots of twists and turns, uh, lots of sideways movements, and lots of obstacles along the way where I've had to take detours or go along other routes. So my path that brought me to where I'm sitting today, I was a film student. I was in the Marine Corps as an enlisted sergeant, several deployments, got out of that, went to law school, then went in the National Guard, then deployed again, and now I have my own law office. So it's definitely not a straight path. And the idea of an obstacle course, a jungle gym, where you have your objectives in mind, but you got to flow with the right path that's for you, that really resonated with me. And I think in this modern workforce where there's no like job security anymore, there's no, you get a job at a company and you're there for 20 years. So this idea of a ladder, a rigid path that's one ring at a time, that doesn't work anymore anyways. So I like the jungle gym, and also a jungle gym has a playful element to it. I have deep memories of, the schoolyard and these like old metal like dome shaped things where you can kind of grab and play and explore and learn. Uh, the next concept I really like is sit at the table. Now, in the context of the book Lean In, what she's talking about is she's been to these various meetings and things where an executive would have some assistants, perhaps female assistants, and when they went into the meeting room and everyone was there, these assistants wouldn't sit at the table, but would sit off in the corner or off to the side as if they didn't rate to sit at the table. And Ms. Sandberg's advice is to just, take a seat, sit down, claim your place, at the table, because, you made it to the room, you deserve to be there. And your input is valid. And I think that this is good advice for all people, young people, old people, anyone in a new context. I mean, as I said, I'm a new lawyer, so oftentimes, I just gotta, I'm a solo practitioner. I don't have, a firm or a team of partners with me. And sometimes the people that are on the opposing side as me, sometimes, they have more support than I have. But you know what? I passed the bar exam. I have a lot of background and experience and have accomplished a lot of things. So you're darn right, I'm going to sit at the table. You're darn right, I'll stand up in the courtroom and speak to the judge on behalf of my client. And it's just something, it's a little bit of initiative mixed with confidence that I think is a very valuable lesson for all of us to embrace. So that really resonated with me. And especially the concept of, being at the table, you can kind of play with this table metaphor and with social customs, table scraps, where, feeling as if you don't deserve a seat at the table or to enjoy the benefits of being at the table. But some of these things, people don't give you, especially nowadays where, people are a little bit more guarded and defensive about some things. So, claim your place. And I think that's very good advice. Okay, so the next one is make your partner a real partner. And in this context, she's talking about family and marriage, and how in a family where both spouses work or just one works and one's a stay-at-home parent if there's children involved, we don't have to think in these 1950s gender roles. And I think it's very important to play around with the freedom that we have to develop our own roles and our own division of responsibilities. And I think it's very important, that's something I strive for in my life with my wife. There's work-life balance and division of roles and supporting each other in the different types of work we pursue. And I totally would be, very happy and dedicated if my life path enables me to be a stay-at-home dad for a while, homeschool our children, things like that. It doesn't matter what traditional roles are or what society encourages or looks down upon, but the idea of a partner, and it's not just romantic love in a marriage, but also a partnership, a best friend, someone that you are on this adventure of life together with. And going back to the jungle gym, it's someone that you're navigating this wild obstacle course with, and you're helping each other out. And I think it's very important to focus on that. That relationship is probably the most important relationship. So you really want it to be a true partnership. The next one is done is better than perfect. And this I really like, in particular with people that hesitate to start something, or when they encounter an obstacle and they're afraid to confront it. Oftentimes in life, when you're presented with an obstacle, the key to overcoming the obstacle or navigating around the obstacle is to just put one foot forward, one step at a time. And the path will make its way more clear as you move forward. However, if you hesitate or you want to look for validation from other people around you, from people to support you and show you the way always, they might not always be there, particularly when you're on your own or you're trying to do something that hasn't been done before, when trying to succeed on yourself. And that's why the idea of done is better than perfect is what you do is you figure it out, you work as hard as you can. You're never going to achieve perfection. There's no such thing as perfection. But next time, maybe you'll be a little better and you'll learn a lot along the way. But I think that's a real key to success in moving forward, is having the initiative to start something and then also not being afraid to finish something, even though it's not perfect, finishing it, knocking it out, getting it submitted, and then moving on. Having the independent strength to complete tasks and then to start new tasks on your own initiative, I think is very important. And again, going back to the jungle gym, just jump on it, go, move, you know what I mean, side to side, up, down, and it'll be a crazy adventure, and you know, you can enjoy the ride. And the last piece is lean in, don't leave before you leave. And again, this concept is focused towards the idea of woman professional in the workplace and perhaps who is considering family planning and having a child, but not to check out of her career path and take her foot off the gas pedal until she's really going to leave, you know, not before pregnancy occurs, or you know, in the first month of pregnancy, to step back and not take on new assignments and new projects, but to keep pushing forward until the day you have to leave. And then when you leave, that momentum and progress will have taken you much farther. So when you return, you'll be closer to your goals than if you would slow down, try to not take on too much responsibility, trying to open up space for you to, you know, develop a family and have children and things like that. But in slowing down and opening up that space, Ms. Sandberg argues that you're going to slow down your career progression, and then when you're looking to re-enter the workforce later, it won't be a fulfilling job that you're looking to return back to, but one that is farther back than what you could have achieved. However, I want to take this concept a little bit farther in terms of leaning in and don't leave before you leave. Similar to done is better than perfect, there is an idea of maximizing your energy when you're engaged in something. So when you're working on a project, be committed to it. Don't be too distracted. Focus on it. At the end of the day, leave. You know, it's good. You know, I really strive not to work past 5 p.m. It's very rare that I have to do that. I totally reject the notion that some new entrepreneur has to work 24/7, has to be available 24/7, responding to this and that. No, I value work-life balance, and if I'm not going to be extremely successful financially at the start of my new business, one thing I can control is the amount of time I put into it. And I really value my time with my family and my time for myself, where I can pursue creative things and lead a whole well-balanced life instead of just a life focused as a specialist in one specific little area, which I think is not a natural way to live. But when I am engaged in work, to lean all the way into it, to focus and push and go as far as I can. So then when I step away, I will have made exciting progress. My stepping away will be a refresher, an oasis. So when I go back to it, I'll be able to jump in deep into the progress where I had left it. And this is a great concept, very inspiring book. Again, the book is named Lean In. You know, I highly recommend it. I picked it up at the library, and I have a stack of like 5 more books. So I'll continue to update with further book reviews, but this is definitely a great summer read. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll link Sheryl Sandberg's TED Talk below, and if you like any of the art above, I'll put a link for my Redbubble where I sell reproductions of some of my art and other creative things that I do. But anyway, thank you for your time. Have a good day. Peace.